right off the mud. Another one trying to get it. Two. Old school. You got the biggest one. You definitely got the biggest one, girl. I don't know. That second one's pretty good size too. That is a great fish. Right out of that mud. Well done. Well done.
That was awesome.
All right, I am going to put the power pole down. Again. Didn't even go 30 yards. And then that fish is going to be upper slot.
Okay, let's hope so.
I'll bet that one's upper slot. I could see all the redfish on that one. That's a heavy fish. I can just tell the way he's pulling on that setup he got. FlatsClass fans, welcome back to the channel. And today, well, by the time you see this video, I'll probably already be in the Florida Keys, but I'm packing up and getting ready for the trip. But that's not what this video is about. This video came from several comments in the past about lady anglers and tackle that is best suited for them. Well, I have a very avid lady angler in my family, my wife Blondie, and she loves to fish. So what can I do to make her ability to cast more accurately and further more enhanced, if you will? And this is a question that I get all the time. In fact, a few years ago, I had one of my best clients, I won't mention his name, hire me to make his wife a better caster because they were going with guides all the time. And literally all I did was change the equipment that she was using. See, she was using her husband's gear, all the actions and rod links that he utilizes when they would go fishing. And over a day of fishing, it fatigued her, and they were just not really balanced for her. So this video, it's gonna be all about the ladies. I'm gonna share with you some of my best rod and reel setups that I think will make the lady in your life a lot better angler. Okay, let me preface this video by saying that everybody is a little bit different. Fishing rods are like golf clubs. Now, I'm not being so pointed that I'm saying that lady anglers are not as good as male anglers. I'm not saying that at all. In fact, there have been plenty of lady anglers on FlatsClass television in the past, and in some of my YouTube videos, people like Lisa Fitzgerald, Meredith McCord, Linda Dankert. I've had, who else has been on the show or on YouTube? Jenny Kent. Just angler after angler after angler that are good, including my wife and Julie Lacey. But here's the reality. The reality is unless you're out there doing it a lot, it's hard to be good. So having equipment that will set yourself up for success is huge. I mean, very huge. And this just doesn't apply to lady anglers. Let's just say you're a senior angler or you're a very young angler. Are you going to want to throw those medium heavy 7.5 foot rods that are extra fast or extra fast just because your husband does, your boyfriend does, your dad does? No. That's going to make it tough on you. You got to generate a lot of rod speed to make those rods effective. That's easy for, you know, guys that are bigger. They weigh 180 plus pounds. They got longer arms. They just have more musculature. So driving through, that's not a problem. Lady anglers, senior anglers, and kids, they're not going to have that advantage. So the way you mitigate that problem is you change the gear, and that's what this video is going to be about. So instead of giving them that 7.5 foot long rod that's going to have more weight associated with it, and then possibly a faster action, you're going to make the rod a little shorter, 7 foot. You're going to make the rod more of a medium, maybe even a medium light. And you're going to make the action of the rod, which is the tip, more like a fast action or moderate fast. And what that does is it allows that rod to bend over, and that way more the rod is doing the cast than them having to generate so much rod speed. That is the key. Whether you're a senior with a, an impingement in your shoulder or a poor back, you've got disc issues or things like that, or your balance isn't that good on the skiff, or if you're a kid, you're just small, or in many cases, lady anglers, they're smaller. They just can't generate rod speed like that, but they're still good anglers. So if you're thinking in your head that you're going to get by allowing them to use your gear every time you go, and then they struggle, well, it's really not them, it's you. So here's a rod and reel setup that I suggest. I'll go get it now. Okay, like I said, we're trying to level the playing field for the ladies, or the seniors, or the kids, but mostly the ladies, because I brought 2 of the rods out that I plan on taking to let my wife fish while we're down in the Florida Keys. Now we're going to be doing a little bit of bone fishing. We'll probably do a little bit of fishing in the backcountry, and then we're probably going to do some patch reef fishing, where there will be some bigger rods involved, but a lot of the lighter rods that we're going to use, like the 4,000 size, are going to be for catching yellowtail snapper, mangs, and things like that. So here's the 2 more popular rods for inshore. Now, again, I'm going to say I'm partnered with Shimano. So I'm going to talk about Shimano gear. Now you can extrapolate or parallel these rod actions and sizes and everything I'm going to talk about to whatever your favorite brand is. But for me, Shimano makes a fantastic product. I've been a big fan for a long time, so we're going to talk Shimano. So on the lighter side, let's just say bone fishing. We're going to be fishing, sight fishing for redfish, things like that, where a lighter, shorter rod is going to be more applicable. And I can put lighter braid on, which is going to afford a longer cast with that shorter rod. See, many of the guys, we use those longer rods to get longer casts, but we're using 15 and 20 pound braid oftentimes. I find that it is fairly tough to break 8 and 10 pound braid and even 5 pound braid. So I find using those lighter weight braids on some of the ladies' rods gives them an advantage, allows them to cast an extra 15, sometimes 20 feet. And that's all the difference in the world. So for Blondie, fishing a little bit of bonefish, I wanted a real light rod. Now, I have a Texas eye on here. That's not what we're throwing for bonefish. We'll probably just have a piece of split shot and a longer Aberdeen hook, and we'll probably put a shrimp or something on it. But this is a very light rod. This is the Terramar PX. This is a 6'8" medium light rod. It's moderately fast. The rod weighs almost nothing. I'll show you the PX here. And then I'll give you some of the model number information right there. Okay. This is a 3000 Banford. It's a fantastic little reel, weighs virtually nothing. So she's not going to experience fatigue. In fact, she's going to experience a lot of, I think her experience is going to be awesome with this because it's nice and light. The rod has a lot of deflection in it, so it bends very easy. So she's going to be able to throw those light bugs jigs. She's going to be able to throw those unweighted shrimp. If I have her up in Flamingo and we're throwing a gold spoon, she's going to be able to throw those small 1/4 ounce spoons. All those are going to throw very, very well on this particular rod. Now, as long as the hook diameter of whatever we're using is very thin, we will be very successful. Now let's talk about this little bit bigger rod for a little bit of the snapper fishing stuff we're going to do. All right, This little bit bigger rod is 7 foot. It's a medium action rod, and it has it's got more of a faster tip, so it doesn't bend as deep as that medium light 6/8, this 7-footer. And it's paired with a Vanford 4000 reel. The weight difference isn't that much. This is still a very light and well-balanced rod setup. Now, whereas I've got usually 5 and 8 pound braids that I put on this smaller 3000 Vanford on the 6'8" rod for bone fishing and accurate sight casting, on this rod where we might play the game with the snook around the laydowns on the Cape in Everglades National Park, fish for snapper on some of the patch reefs, and maybe even play with some juvenile tarpon, I like the 4000 in the medium 7-foot rod, and I'm not giving up anything with her on distance. Because it's light, she's going to be able to generate plenty of rod speed, especially with those lighter weight braids. So distance is going to be there, accuracy is going to be there, and there's not going to be very much fatigue. So when you're using or looking some of this stuff up so that you can, either buy it or use something similar to in a brand that you're comfortable with, for me, I think these are great setups for lady anglers and seniors, and they're a little expensive for kids, albeit, but if you got some teenagers that are getting into fishing, and I'm telling you, the fastest growing segment in fishing is lady anglers, for sure. It just is. And I'll admit something to you guys, even as I've gotten older, I've got the same things that bother me. I'm a little more seasoned now, so I've got some elbow issues, I've got some impingements issues in my casting shoulder, and I'm an everyday waterman still, where I'm poling a boat constantly. So I have to be in a situation where I'm saving myself. So a lot of the casting gear I use, medium light, medium action, not as much medium heavy and heavy as I used to use, unless I'm throwing a big glide bait, a giant top water, some big integrated weighted swim bait or something like that. I'm really throwing a lot of medium action now. I enjoy the ability to cast with less effort and be very, very accurate with it. So for me, it's a game changer, and I think it will be for you too. If you give me the chance, ladies, I promise I will make you close to as good as Lisa Fitzgerald, close to as good as Mo Newman out there in Louisiana. I mean, close to Linda, no one can get close to Linda Dankert, she's the best. Maybe even Meredith McCord, you never know. But unless you give me a chance, I can't get you there. And one of the ways we can do that is if you just reach out there and subscribe, like, so that we can trend. I can take you to all these places, and I can teach you more things where we're going. I'm excited about the Keys trip, I gotta admit, and probably the next video you see after this one, I'll already be down there and we'll be doing something on the boat. We're gonna go take a friend of mine's big 31 yellowfin with twins on it. So we're gonna be doing a little bit different stuff this season when we go down there, but I'm probably gonna try to fish with Dave Dankert or Randy Stallings or someone down there that I'm gonna call. And we're even gonna do an interview with the great Nick Stanzik on sword fishing while we're down there for the Tidewater Diary. So really excited about this 2-week trip down there. Okay, I got to get back to packing the tow vehicle, and I got to go over here to the boat to get a few things out of it so I can bring along. Well, until next time, Captain CA signing off.